Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Triplem here. Today we're taking a look at the UGREEN GaN fast charger. Now this one's going to give you 100 watts. It does have 4 ports, 3 USB-Cs, 1 USB-A, and with this you have the power to not only charge your phones, also charge a couple laptops all the way up to 100 watts. So in this video we're going to put it to the test, see how it does charging multiple devices, also see how much power it's actually pulling while charging these devices. Now before we jump into the unboxing, shout out to UGREEN for sponsoring this video. Also head over to the channel, hit that subscribe button, smash your thumbs up, select all our notifications. Let's go. So let's start by getting this out of the box. This one's actually pretty damaged. Not sure how that happened because the box was sealed, but as long as it's working, I guess can't complain. And only 2 things in the box. We have the charger itself and we have an instructional manual. So the cool thing about this versus your standard charger, and this is an Apple charger, not picking on Apple, but the size is going to be a little bit smaller as far as the profile for the Apple charger. Biggest thing is that the Apple charger only has 1 USB-C. You can see right here we have 1, 2, 3 USB-Cs and USB-A, and this looks a lot, in my opinion, looks a lot more stylish. Not just a plain white adapter that only has 1 use with the Apple logo, but nice UGREEN logo on the front. The materials feel solid, black around the middle. On the 2 sides we have a wonderful gray metallic looking material. It is hard plastic, and cool thing about this, it is travel ready, so all you need to do is fold this out, fold it back in, and that makes for easier transport. Now each USB port on this is labeled and they do have different uses. So the maximum output for this is 100 watts, and that's 100 watts combined. So for instance, if you're using 100 up here, you're not going to have anything left for the other ports. So 100 watts share between the different ports. The ports are labeled. You can see C1, C2, and C3, and at the bottom we have USB-A. So C1 and C2 are going to be identical. If you have a larger device like a laptop, these are the 2 ports you're going to want to use. So the outputs for C1 and C2 is 5 volts 3 amps, 9 volts 3 amps, 12 volts 3 amps, 15 volts 3 amps, 20 volts 5 amps, and 3.3 to 21 volts 3 amp at 100 watts max. So these will be ideal for your larger devices that requires a little bit more power. Now 3rd USB port, the maximum wattage output is 22.5, and this is at 5 volts 3 amps, 9 volts 2.5 amp, 12 volts 1.88 amp, 3.3 to 5.9 volts at 3 amp, 3.3 to 11 volts at 2 amp. Now 3rd one is going to be a USB-A. Now this maxes out at 22.5 as well. As far as the voltage, you have 4.5, 5 amp, 5 volts, 4.5 amp, 5 volts, 3 amp, 9 volts, 2 amp, and 12 volts at 1.5 amp. So these will be ideal for your cell phones, your smaller devices. These 2 will be ideal for your laptops, for your large tablets. But if you have a device with power delivery, you should be able to use any port just to get that super fast charging. Alright, let's see it in action. Alright guys, so you can see I got a lot of devices on here. First I have a MacBook, I have a Dell laptop. In the middle I have an iPhone, I have the Z Fold 3, I have a iPad Pro right here, and I have another MacBook. So the goal here is to see if we can get a full 100 watt out of this charger. So here's the charger. So what I'm going to do is just plug it into this meter. It is going to tell me how many watts it's pulling. This thing right here is pretty awesome, guys. You can also test your outlets, power usage for the year. You can kind of see how much money you're using on a particular device. So this is a pretty cool device. I'll link it below if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. So what I'm going to do is just plug this in here like this. USB 1 at the top, 2, 3, and of course we have the USB-A right here. And let's go ahead and get this plugged up. So plugged in, you can see an idle, pulling 0.1, which is pretty standard with most of these plugs. The other thing I want to point out is that not all USB-C cables are created equal, guys. You want to get one that's going to give you that super fast charging. And I'll go ahead and link this one in the description. This one does a really good job of not only making sure it can charge your laptop, but also super fast charging for your Android devices. So first, let's test the Z Fold 3. The reason I'm testing this is because it is Samsung, and Samsung does a good job of telling you whether you're doing a super fast charger or a regular fast charge, and that's how you can kind of know the difference. So currently currently I'm plugged in the third USB port. Remember that the first two will give you up to 100 watts. The third and fourth one will give you up to 22.5 watts. So that's why these two are recommended for your larger devices. So start with a Z Fold 3, and the reason I'm using this is because it will actually tell you if you're doing regular fast charging or if you're doing super fast charging. And what we want to see is a super fast charging. However, on the third USB-C port, we should only get fast charging. All right, so fast charging, I'm at 70%, 32 minutes until full charge. So let's go ahead and we'll move it up to that first or second port, doesn't matter in this case. So you can see this says super fast charging at 79%, so 31 minutes until full charge. So another thing I wanted to actually show you is when you look on the actual voltmeter, you can see that just the Z Fold 3 is pulling 16 watts from the second USB-C port. Put it into the first port, kind of see what we're getting there. All right, so still 16 watts, still in that third USB-C port. And let's go ahead and we'll plug in to our MacBook. So the first MacBook is charging at about 24. Let's go ahead and we'll plug in some more devices. All right, so sitting at 99.7. Gets up to that far, then it kind of trickles down and it'll go back up again. But for the most part, it is doing what it's supposed to be doing, giving me 100 watts total in those areas that I need them. So as far as what I have plugged in, I have a MacBook 1, MacBook 2, iPad Pro, and then I do have the Z Fold 3 as well. And the charger itself does a pretty good job just stabilizing the charge and just making sure everything's good to go. Not too hot, a little bit warm, but not crazy hot as compared to some other chargers that you might see out there. So if you're someone that's looking for something that will charge all of your devices, and you can see that I have a lot of devices here plugged in. It charges all of them. Remember that the first two USB-C ports are for the 100 watts. So if you have a device that demands a lot more power, you can plug into one of those and you should be good to go. The same thing goes for phones that can take advantage of that supercharging like the Z Fold 3. If I was to plug it into here, guys, you can see it goes between regular fast charge and supercharge, and that's how you know that you're getting the fastest charge available for your device. So big shout out to UGREEN again for sponsoring this video. Definitely worth picking up. I'll leave the link in the description. If you guys have any questions, drop it in the comments. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching again, and I'll catch you on the next one.